Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Whether you are a beginner or a more practiced yogi, Easy Beginner Yoga is a great class for stretch and recovery. Ease into those basic postures if you are just starting out, or reflect on alignment cues to see just how much you have improved since you began your yoga journey. Feel free to use yoga blocks and a blanket in today's practice. So grab your mat and let's get started. We're going to begin in a seated posture. So you can, if you'd like, you can turn and face the front of your mat. And you start out with a cross-legged, but then I want you to just extend your right leg out. So you've got your left knee bent, your right leg extended out, and we're just gonna sit nice and tall. And just feel the alignment. If you wanna sit on a blanket or a block, you're welcome to, or even a pillow. Think about your practice today. Then you're going to move to the right, reaching the right hand to the floor, left arm over. And then slide it to the left. And then back to the right. One more time to the left. And then sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead and pull that left knee in and straighten it out. And we're just going to pull the right leg in. Let it fall open. If it's really high up, you can always put a block or a blanket or even a pillow under the hip. So nice and tall. Place your left hand on the floor. Reach your right arm overhead. And then the other side. And just feel the stretch. Notice what's going on in the body. That's the key. We're just connecting to feel what parts of the body might be talking to us as we move through our different postures. So this is just a basic seated single leg overhead stretch here. And then sit up nice and tall. And then take a couple breaths in and out through the nose. Go ahead and extend both legs straight out. Give them a shake. You're going to pull the left leg in and then just let it fall open again. Now, if the knee is up, your hip is maybe tight, again, throw a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow. You would just press it under there just to relieve any tension in that low back. And yoga blocks, great addition to help out with the practice. We're going to lift and lengthen through the spine. Now turn your shoulders to face your right foot. You're going to flex the foot. We're just going to reach the fingers forward as you lean into it, trying not to round or collapse. It's not a race. We're not trying to see how far we can get. It's lengthening through the spine and hinging at those hips as you lean forward. And just let your arms rest on the floor wherever they can reach. Now if you have a background in something that, in an activity or sport when you were younger, and maybe you're super flexible and you can reach your toes, you can always reach for them. Again, no pressure here, no forcing the stretch. And just breathe. You always want to be able to breathe into those stretches, in and out. Breathe all the way down into the belly, feeling expanding. Maybe you can melt a little deeper into your posture now. Again, letting your arms just rest wherever they feel comfortable. And then we're going to slowly sit up nice and tall. Now let's reach the arms to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then bring the palms together to heart space. Pressing the fingertips together. And opening the fingers wide, rotate those fingers toward the earth, stretch through the wrist, and then back up. And then hands rotate towards the floor, the fingers, and then back up. And then we have one more time. So it's really good to stretch out the wrists and those fingers, and then go ahead and release. You're going to pull that left leg up and in. And now we're going to cross that left foot over the right thigh and keep that right foot flexed. Go ahead and take your right arm, reach it around. Let's hug that left knee. Lengthen through the spine, and then maybe bring that left arm back as a kickstand, a twist and lift. Feeling that nice stretch in the glute, the hip. Maybe try looking over your left shoulder. And make adjustments. As I give suggestions, just think about what works for your body. Example, if I say reach overhead with one of the arms and you have shoulder issues, then don't reach. It's okay. Now we're going to let go of that leg. We're going to come back to center. We're going to extend that left leg more to the outside edge of the mat. And then you're going to bring that right knee in and let it fall open. And then same thing on this side. If you want to slide pillow or block under the knee if you need it, you can. We're going to lift and lengthen and then turn your shoulders towards your left foot and then reach the fingers forward again, not rounding or collapsing through the upper back. We stay tall, rotate through those hips, and then reach those fingertips forward. And notice where the stretch is coming in. Maybe it's the hamstring and the calf. Maybe it's the low back on the opposite side. And you make sure you can wiggle your foot. Maybe you can reach for your toes. Again, never forcing that stretch. Just listen to the body. That's the nice thing about yoga. It's called yoga practice, and we are just touching base with what we have going on in the body. Tuning into the breath. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. One more breath. As you're breathing in and out, you might feel the body relax a little more, the tension drain out, start to walk the hands and the body upright. Sitting nice and tall, let's reach the arms overhead. Again, if your shoulder is good with this, you can reach them up. Maybe just one arm, it's up to you. And then we're going to bring the palms together, exhale the palms to heart space. And then you're going to rotate those fingers down towards the earth, elbows are wide, and then we are going to bring those fingertips back up and then down. How's the wrist feeling? Can you feel that stretch? Fingertips wide and down. I really enjoy stretching out the hands and the fingers often, especially if you work on the computer, if you're typing, writing. I mean, even when we clean the house, you got to keep all the joints mobile. And then go ahead and release. Then make 2 fists and then just do some 8 wrist circles, both directions. And then relax those hands. We're going to pull that right knee into the chest. Bring your left leg straight forward to the front of your mat. You're going to bring your right foot across the thigh, placing the foot on the floor. Lift through the spine. Sit as tall as you can, and then take your left arm, wrap it around that right knee. Let's twist to the right. Placing your right hand on the floor behind you as a kickstand, flexing that left foot. Maybe look over your right shoulder. So feel that stretch be right there in that glute and that hip of the right side. And then slowly release. We're going to come all the way back to center and extend both legs straight out. But when they come out, I want you to extend them apart. So the heels are reaching towards the outside edges of your mat. So they're a little wider. It's a little easier to sit with the legs straight this way. If you need to put your fingertips behind your back for a little assist, you are welcome to. Other option is to reach the fingertips in front, lengthening through the spine, and then start to walk yourself forward. And again, not dropping through the spine. We want to keep the spine lengthened, especially if you have any low back issues going on. I have a bulging disc, and it more affects the left side. So trying to keep that spine long so I'm not collapsing and putting extra pressure. It just helps as well. And this way we get a little deeper into those hamstrings. Now we might be able to walk the fingertips a little more forward again, keeping that spine long. You can make sure you can wiggle the knees, shake out the toes. And as we work into our different postures, just give our bodies grace, right? Your body, we didn't get this way overnight, so we have to work our way into mobility and flexibility. It's a little bit each day. Maybe you can reach for your big toes. Maybe they're far away. That's okay. And just find your breath. Still sitting as tall as you can as you lean forward. Thinking about your neck is lengthened. We got one more breath here. And then we're going to reach it all the way up to the sky. Sit up nice and tall. And this makes our core engage, our back is working. Reaching those arms up. Turn your palms to face your feet. And then bend your elbows, cactus arms. Just feel all that strength working. We got to stay upright. Try to working our posture. Pull that chin in. Think about pulling your ears over your shoulders. Believe it or not, lots of places in the body working those muscles, right? Awesome. Bring the hands and the elbows together. And just again, feel that nice stretch. And then open it wide again, cactus arms. And then let the arms relax. And shake out those legs. Let's bring both feet in, place them on the floor, and then wrap your arms around your knees. If you want to just hold back of the thighs, that's fine too. And then again, lift and lengthen. Give everything a little stretch. Now we're going to transition to tabletop. So however you want to get there, you can. You can cross your legs and bring them under, or you're welcome to sit on your hips. Now options here, I personally like to put my knees on a blanket. You can use a beach towel, a regular blanket. You can use a pillow, whatever you want, just to add a little cushioning. Maybe you fold your mat up and then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and spread out those fingers. So if you have wrist issues, maybe we want to stretch out the fingers a little bit more. You can go to fingers like tenths. You can even go onto the knuckles. But I do want to stretch the fingers. So you're going to take your right hand and you're going to spread out your right fingers, lift your palm off the floor, and you're going to do a gentle press release into those fingers, just giving them a stretch. Just a little gentle press release up and down. And then go and press all the way into the palm. And let's try the other side. And if you have a different position for that right hand, feel free. We're doing the left fingertips, a little gentle press release, keeping the palm up. And then we're going to press all the way into the palm. So you're pushing into the fingertips and the thumbs and the palms. So now we're going to go into what we call cat-cow. So tops of the feet on the floor, round through the back, tuck the chin, nice exhale. For cat stretch, cow, you're going to lift the head, lift the tailbone, arch the back, and then exhale, round. And then inhale, lift and arch. We're going to continue this flow. You can maybe try to slow your breath as you round. And as you lift and extend and arch, feel the shoulder blades pulling down and away from your ears or your neck and round. This is a great way to balance out to the vertebrae, helping the discs in the back. Exhale, round. And last one, inhale, lift and arch. And then find your neutral spine. And again, getting up and down off the floor is important. So this is a great one to practice, to get that strength, to get that mobility, to get on and off the floor. So we're going to start with the right arm, reaching it forward, thumb is up. And just breathe, your core is working. Maybe feel your belly pulling into your spine. But as you breathe at the same time, bring your right hand to the floor, spread out those fingers, and then extend the left hand forward, thumb is up. So just doing one hand at a time. Building strength. Go ahead and bring that left hand down. Now you're going to take your right toe, press it to the back of your mat. You're straightening out your right leg. Feel the belly pulling into the spine and really pull those shoulder blades apart and the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the right butt cheek tight and lift that right leg off the floor. Notice all the areas of the body starting to work. Now maybe this is a good challenge and you can stay here. If you want more, you can extend the left arm forward. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Don't do the same. You might fall over. You're welcome to try it, but don't fall over. But opposite arm, opposite leg. And you're looking at your thumb on the floor, and then bring your left hand to the floor, right knee. That may be a little challenging if you're just getting started. So let's try the other side. So let's tuck that left toe under at the back of the mat. Lengthen through the spine. So prepping for our postures is key. We have to think about what we're going to do. Squeeze that left glute and lift that left leg. So we're not rotating it up and out. We want to keep it hips level, toes pointing to the floor, option to reach your right hand forward. This is very good for lower back strength and stability. When I had my back issue first started, this is one I did a lot more than I normally would do. And then we're going to bring the right hand to the floor, left knee. So now we're going to bring the knees apart, feet together. Balasana, or child's pose. So we're going to slide our hips to our heels, belly to the thigh, between the thighs, and walk the arms forward and lower your head to the mat. Now, if this is challenging with your knees, again, throw a pillow under the knees. Maybe you're not quite going down all the way because of knee range of motion. That's okay. That's why we call it practice. Like I said, getting that range of motion is something we have to work on. Just reach it. Maybe you want to move your wrist or massage them from being on them. You can move your fingers. And then take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then we're going to come back up onto all fours, tabletop. So if you are not familiar with down dog or you're just getting started in yoga, I always recommend maybe a couple yoga blocks. And you can place your hands on the blocks for the next move. It's called a downward facing dog. You can tuck your toes. If you don't have blocks, well, then you can just have those hands on the floor. So again, lots of options there. But we're going to tuck our toes under, hips back towards the heels, and you're going to start to lift your butt to the sky. So downward facing dog. If you have a blanket or pillow, this is where you would slide it out of the way. And then you're going to walk your dog. Pedal out your feet, shift your hips. And we're pushing into our hands, our fingertips, the palms, moving those hips, and then melt into it and keeping those knees slightly bent so we protect that low back. You never want to feel the low back. Pull the shoulder blades away and the shoulders relax. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And now we're going to walk our feet forward, or you can walk your hands backwards, but you're going to walk your hands and feet together so you come to a forward fold. And when you get here, again, you can use those blocks. If your hands were on the blocks, you can turn them taller and even have your hands resting on the blocks if the floor seems a little farther away. So the blocks help bring the floor closer to us. And then you're going to bring your hands to your shins, half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, and then you're going to soften the knees and you're going to rise all the way up. Reach for the sky, and then exhale, palms to heart space. And then find your nice tall mountain. And check your toes. Make sure they're facing the front, and they are about 1 fist distance apart. 1 fist between those feet. And the toes forward. And then open up that chest. Pull those ears over the shoulders, nice and tall. And just feel the feet grounding into the earth. Feel how strong you are. Take a deep breath in. Reach those arms again overhead. This time we're going to exhale. Let's bring the hands together behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Press the palms. Open up that heart. And again, making sure the head's not going forward. We're not overarching the back. And we're not going to yank and pull. We're just going to press the palms together and then maybe lift those arms a little ways from the back. Noticing how that chest expansion is feeling, the knees stay soft. So I'm going to give you an option here. You do not have to go here. You can just stay here and maybe even open up so the palms are a little more open on this one. And then you're going to start to forward fold. You're going to bring your nose to your knees. Now for back issues, you would maybe bend the knees, let the belly rest. You can bring those arms up. You can bring the nose to the knees. If you don't want to go upside down, just stay upright. And then when you start to come up, you just take a breath in, straighten out the legs as you lift tall. And then release the fingers and just let the arms swing forward and back. It's a great way to stretch out and get the shoulder joints moving. Then we're going to reach the arms forward and all the way up to the sky. And then relax your shoulders into place. Really have them relax. Okay, so you're still facing the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn so you can see. And then soften the knees and then side bend to your right. Reaching those arms. And feel both feet grounding into the earth. Take a deep breath in and reach it up. Straightening out. Side bend to your left. Again, feet into the earth, both of them. Inhale, lift. Let's add a little balance challenge. Side bend to the right. Extend your left toe out to the side. Now, option to lift it off the floor. You can even flex the foot. Keep the toe on. If you feel too unsteady, toe on the floor and slide it back to center. Nice and tall. Again, if you have shoulder issues, you can do the same practice right here and do the same thing, just leaning over. So we're going to lean to the left, slide your right toe out. Maybe that's a good challenge. Stay here. Option to lift the toe or flex the foot. Again, you can be here if you need to. And then we're going to bring the toe to the floor, come back to center, bring those palms together. And then let's find our mountain again. Open up the heart. Now we're going to take the left foot back, a small step. So the feet are apart and your hips are facing the front. There's a slight angle on that left foot. Bend into the right knee. Make sure the knee stays over the ankle so you're not bending into it like this. We don't want the knee over the toe. So if that's the case, you can always go a little wider. Warrior one, we're going to extend those arms up. And we're going to breathe into it. And again, you don't want to feel your low back in warrior one. So if you're feeling that low back, think about where your hips are. If you're like rounding or arching that back too much, tuck those hips under. Notice what's going on in that left hip flexor, the front of that left thigh. Find your breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Turn your palms to face the front. Bend the elbows. Let's find those cactus arms again. Opening things up. So as we do this, the upper back muscles are working. Feel the belly pulling into the spine. Bring your palms together to heart space. You're going to turn a little bit to that left and open up the legs a little wider. And turn your hips and your shoulders to the side of the mat. And extend the arms to the front and back of your mat. So warrior two. Now let's look over our right fingertips and then look at your right big toe. Bend your right knee and make sure the knee is pushing towards the pinky toe. And you're not quite leaning forward. We want to stay as tall as we can. Think about whoop, zip right up the center, crown of the head to the sky. Warrior two. Level out those hands. We're going to bring the palms to heart space. Straighten your front leg. And then turn your right toe to the edge of your mat, so you're facing the whole body, the side of the mat. But turn so your heels are in slightly, toes are out. And then extend the arms diagonally up so you can make a big star. You're a star. Bend your elbows, find your cactus arms, and then slightly bend your knees. Draw the knees toward your pinky toes. And just go as low as you feel comfortable. Again, strengthening. Again, balance. Inhale, star. Exhale, back to goddess. Bending the knees, bending the elbows. Bringing the palms together. Straighten out the legs. Turn your left toe to the side of the mat. Right toe to the front of the mat. Turn your upper body to the front, bend your right knee, and then big step forward, find your mountain. You might feel a little uneven. We're lengthening, stretching, working the fascia, hydrating it. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. We're going to take the right foot back. Again, finding that warrior one. So realign, hips are forward, extend the arms up. If you have shoulder issues, you can go straight to our cactus arms. We'll meet you there shortly. Good. Breathing in. Right knee is straight, left knee is bent this time. We're going to turn the palms to the front. Bend the elbows, find your cactus arms. Hopefully this feels good. We don't want to feel anything in that low back. Bringing the palms together. You're going to rotate your body to the right and turn that right knee open, that right foot open a bit more. So your whole body is facing, and the hips, shoulders, the side of your mat. Extend the arms to the front and the back of the mat and look down at your left knee, and you want to see your big toe. So your knee is tracking towards your pinky toe, but not over the toes. Keep it going. Now we're going to bring the palms to heart space. Straighten your front leg. Turn your left toe to the left side of the mat, or right side of the mat, excuse me. Open up those toes. We're going to find our star. Relax your shoulders. And then you're going to bend the elbows and bend the knees. Find your goddess. Extend up, find your star. Exhale back down, find your goddess. And only go as low as you feel comfortable. You can make some shifts side to side a little. Notice what's going on. Inhale, star. And then exhale, palms to heart space. So turn your right toe to face the side of the mat, left toe to the front of the mat. Turn your upper body to the front, so always think about those movements. Bend your left knee, big step forward. Now we're going to bring the big toes together and the thighs. So you're going to get one long, tall stance. Squeeze those thighs. Extend the arms up to the sky. You're going to bend your knees, but press your thighs together and sit your hips back, like you're sitting on a high chair. A high level chair called chair pose, Utkatasana. Now, if this is a tough one on the shoulders or the back, again, find those cactus arms, or you can bring the palms together. Think about your shoulders, think about your back, what feels good to you. And then we're going to inhale up, straighten, and we're going to exhale back into that chair. I mean, how many times a day are we getting up and down from a chair? We want to strengthen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit back in that chair. Squeeze the thighs. It's good for balance too, because we've got a narrow stance here. Inhale, rise. Good. Heel toe the feet apart. About, they're right under the hips now. And then sit back into that chair. Notice the difference. You don't get to squeeze those legs together anymore. And then inhale, lift. And then exhale, the arms come all the way down by your side, opening up. Find your mountain. And then inhale, both arms straight up. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to forward fold. With swan dive, we're going to reach for the floor. So this is where if you were using blocks for your down dog, you'd want to get them. And you want to place them on the floor. And we're going to step back enough that we can put our feet down and just hinge into our downward facing dog. So you're just in an upside down V. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. Might be a little easier. We're just going to take 2 deep breaths here. Press into the fingertips, the palms, looking at your knees or your toes. After your second breath, you're going to slowly start to lower towards the knees, all the way to the floor. And then feel free to tuck your feet to the side, and you're going to have a seat and extend those legs out in front. And you can sit on if you have a thin towel or a blanket, you're welcome to sit on it. And we're going to bring the heels, and we're going to scoot towards the front of our mat. And we're going to hold on to the back of the thighs, and we're going to lift and lengthen. And then start to hinge back. So we're going to find our boat pose. So we want to do a little bit of strengthening in that core. Again, mobility, getting up and down off the floor is key here. Now you can stay here. We want to make sure we're working that core, but not going into that low back. Some of you might be able to let go. Can you? If not, no worries. You can always hold on. If it starts to go in that low back when you let go, feel free to hold. I'm going to give you 2 more options here. One, you can lift your feet and hold on, or you can let go. So you got 4 options there. You can even squeeze your knees and feet together. If you want more of a challenge, extend, or just keep it here. 1 more breath. And then we're going to place the feet down, and we're going to hug the knees and lift and lengthen again. And breathe. Now from here, we're going to extend the legs as wide as your mat. Straighten out your legs. Lift and lengthen. Walk the hands forward, just like we did at the beginning. And notice, it might be a little easier. Maybe wiggle the legs. Maybe you can reach those toes. You're still lengthening through the spine. Leaning into it a little deeper. Now we're going to inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands underneath the knees, and then you're going to bend the knees and bring the bottoms of your feet together for butterfly. And then just hold the ankles, let those knees move up and down. And then you're going to pull the elbows into the rib cage and then start to hinge forward. Again, not collapsing through the upper back, but lengthening and lifting as you lean forward. Maybe your elbows can go out onto those thighs. Tuck your chin slightly so your neck is lengthened. And again, no big deal how far you can go. And it changes day to day. I used to be able to go quite a bit further until I got that bulging disc thing going on, and body doesn't do the same, and that's okay. I just enjoy and appreciate what I can do right now. That's what we got to do each day, right? Now we're going to lift and lengthen through the spine, and we're going to hug the knees again. Just reach them, give a nice lift, and make sure you have room behind you to lay back, because we're going to slowly let go of those legs, and we're going to lower onto our backs all the way down. And when you get down here, we're going to bend the knees still. Walk the feet in about hip distance apart. If you need something under your head, feel free to put like a little pillow, but nothing really high up, because we want to try to keep that length in that neck. But if it's hard for your head to get to the floor, again, definitely put something under your head. Reach your fingertips towards your heels or your ankles. Relax your hands on the floor, kind of towards those heels. Turn your toes in about 1/2 inch, and then feel your belly pulling into your spine. And then push into your feet and start to lift your hips off the floor so you're lengthening through the spine. And you might notice one side working more than the other. One side might be a little challenging. And then we're slowly going to lower those hips all the way back down. And let's try a bridge again. Lift and lengthen, lifting your butt off the floor. And then exhale, lower back down. Now those cactus arms that we did before, we're going to do those again, but on the floor. So bend the elbows, Bring the backs of your hands towards the floor. Your thumbs are facing your head. Just feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. Go ahead and turn your head to the left. Keep your feet about, hip distance apart still. And we're going to drop both knees to your right for a nice twist. Go ahead and move any blankets or blocks out of the way. Just feel that nice stretch. Make adjustments. I don't want you to ever have any pain. I always say pain stands for pay attention inside now, meaning make adjustments so you don't have pain. It's our body's way of communicating with us that we're doing something that isn't supposed to be happening. Now we're going to turn our head back to center. Go ahead, slowly start to lift the left leg, the right will follow. And just realign the spine, realign those feet. They might have moved apart or together. Those toes are turned in like half an inch, like you're going to do a bridge, but not quite, because we're going to drop them to the left as your head turns to the right. And just notice the difference on this side. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. And then bring your head to neutral. Let your right knee come up, left will follow. Place that low back on the floor and then bring both knees in and give them a squeeze and a rock side to side. You can hold on to the shins or you can wrap the arms nice and tight. Either is fine. Go with what feels good to you. And we're going to find our center. And you're going to pull the knees apart to the opposite, to the outer shoulders. And then hold on underneath the thighs as you push your heels up to the sky, but the knees stay bent. And a little rock side to side for happy baby. And then find your center. Relax your feet, hug the knees one more time together into the belly. And then go ahead and release the feet all the way to the floor, extend the arms. And then go ahead and extend, if it's comfortable for your back, your legs straight out to Shavasana. You're going to turn your palms up and then walk your shoulders away from the ears. And then let's close our eyes and start to breathe. Inhale and exhale. Notice what's going on in the body. Maybe you feel energized and ready to go. Maybe your body feels like, whew, that was some work. And this is your rest time. Everybody's going to feel a little different, and that's okay. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then go ahead and point your toes to the front of your mat. Reach the arms overhead, extending full body stretch. And then we bend the knees, place the feet flat on the floor, and drop the knees to whatever side you feel comfortable, and then let your head rest on your arm, on the bent elbow. Maybe you hug your knees, give them a little extra squeeze. And then slowly, using your arms, pushing yourself all the way back up. And let's just sit nice and tall, cross-legged in an easy seat. If this does not feel comfortable, feel free to extend a leg out, just like we did at the beginning. And then lift and lengthen nice and tall, hands resting on the thighs, chin pulled in, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Take a nice deep breath in, reach the arms overhead, exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.